Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Thank you very much for watching the channel. Do please, come on everybody, like and subscribe. It's easy peasy down there, and leave your comments, insults, requests, rather sardonic comments like we get from Larry the Goat Herd. Yeah, you'll probably have seen them down below. Anyway, I do appreciate them taking your time to insult me. Perfectly good. I'm going to talk today about an article that was on BBC Radio 4 this morning at approximately 5 minutes past 8. A representative from the National Audit Office was on discussing the problems in, yes, you guessed it folks, the prison service. They say it's in complete and utter chaos. It's running at a budget deficit of over £4 billion. The actual estate is unable to cope with the influx of inmates, and they're saying by their estimates, by the year 2027, they're going to need at least an extra 12,400 places in the jails. The early release scheme has been something of a bit of a disaster, actually. There's numerous inmates on the run at the moment, having removed their GPS trackers and absented themselves from their probation observations. I mean, we're talking here about people who have been imprisoned for 2 years, released after, say, 7 months, released on licence, who have broken their licence, but were initially imprisoned for knife crime, violence, assaulting, common assault, public assault, grievous bodily harm, burglaries. They're all out there, folks. They're out there. These are people who should really be locked up, not people who have been making strange comments on the internet concerning our migrant brothers and people of certain religious persuasions. Far be it from me to mention who they may be, but that's what they're saying. We're going to need extra prison places because the British prison population is going to be booming with people who are not adhering to the diktats of the thought police. And where do we get the thought police from? Well, it's from the Labour Manifesto, also known as 1984, written by George Orwell some years ago, actually. It was written in 1949 on the Isle of Jura, when he had just a couple of years to live. He had tuberculosis, I believe. And it's a work of absolute genius. I highly recommend that you read 1984, because you'll see exactly the direction that we are being taken in. And we are being taken in, believe me. So they want now, it was Boris Johnson who predicted that we would be having to spend extra money on the prisons, and he would create 20,000 places by the year 2030. An extra 20,000. Who are the bloody people he's putting in prison? I don't think he's got any ideas of him going himself into prison, has he? Well, when you think about what he did, he appropriated, I don't know, £500,000 when he was the Mayor of London. And what did he spend this money on? Water cannons. Defunct, non-functioning water cannons from Germany, I believe. And what was he going to do with these water cannons? Well, believe this or not, I mean, this is your guy who went on to be the Prime Minister and hold numerous parties during the lockdown of COVID. Yes, this is the man. He was going to use those water cannons to rid the streets of people who were protesting about his ridiculous policies. That's the man. Yeah, ex-Etonian. Well, there's nothing, you can't hold that against him. I mean, 17, 18 prime ministers, all from the same school. Do you think that something might be a little amiss there? Yeah? I wonder. member of the Bullingdon Club. If you don't know what the Bullingdon Club is, have a look. The cost of the uniform that they wear when they go out wrecking restaurants and trashing hotels costs approximately £10,000. That's just for the fancy dress that they wear. They wear fancy dress. David Cameron, Bullingdon Club. Boris Johnson, Bullingdon Club. The Old Boys Network. And in the meantime, what they're going to do, will create another 20,000 prison places. There are people who are in the prisons, those vastly overcrowded, dirty, disgraceful dungeons that you call the prisons. They're in there for doing far less than the members of the Bullingdon Club do. Smashing places up, causing immense damage. But what do the Bullingdon Club do? Well, one of the reasons the way they get to be a member, they've got to take a £50 note. Seriously, you go and look this up. Don't take John's word for it. Look it up. Get a £50 note. Find a destitute, down and out tramp. Take the £50 note, a lighter, and burn the £50 note in front of the disadvantaged homeless individual. That's what you've got to do to be a member of the Bullingdon Club. And you've also got to wreck restaurants, smash hotel rooms, generally cause mayhem, and when you've done it, take your checkbook out and say, just give me the bill. It'll be alright, don't worry about that, just give me the bill. Yep. If I was the proprietor of the hotel, I wouldn't give them a bill. I'd grip the bastard by the neck and take him to the police station and have him arrested, put in there. I try what it's like. Smash your cell up, you posh, privileged, rich bastards. Seriously. So that's what they're talking about on BBC Radio 4 this morning. Go to BBC Sounds, click on Today. That's the programme that's on at 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. And at just gone 8 o'clock, you'll hear the National Audit Officer saying that they're £4 billion over target. They've got to build another 20,000 places. But they don't say who these people are that they're going to lock up, because they've let out a load of seriously aggressive, violent inmates, burglars, serial attackers, knife crime addicts, and they're whipping off their GPS, cutting them off, and going loose in society. There's not just one or two, there's quite a lot, and it's your society. You should be speaking out to your MP and saying, we want to stop this, and all this nonsense about arresting people for what's known as offences against your rather strange woke behaviour ideas. We can't have that. It's got to stop. So, it won't stop. It won't stop, will it? Because nobody's going to have the courage. I mean, you go and march through London, what are you going to get? One of Boris Johnson's water cannons on you? Yeah, he's a big fat bastard, until let's be perfectly honest. And his ideas were exposed as being completely ridiculous. And now we've got the prison estate, and they're openly admitting that it is in total chaos. Over 40% of the prison staff are female. They all sit down to have a piss. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to actually dealing with the inmates on the landings, they can't do it. I know they can't do it because I've been there and actually done it at the Scrubs, Strangeways, Armley Jail, Wanton Jail, institutions for the criminally insane. You can't have 18-year-old girls with a big hat and a set of keys dealing with that, because it doesn't work. Rant for today. Anyway, have a listen to that. It's on BBC Radio Sounds, and listen to their programme at just gone 8 a.m. this morning. That's the song dinger, by the way. Yeah, you could get people sentenced to that, couldn't you? You know. You've been found guilty of molesting people in the streets, waving a machete and threatening police officers, we sentence you to 6 months of Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton singing to you. No, I'll never do it again. Here we go. This is a song that I used to play when I was living in Lee and on my way back to the Scrubs, having come home for the weekend before I actually got somewhere to live. Final warning. Song dinger, here we are. This is Harbour Lights. I quite like this one. Originally by the Platters, of course. This is nothing to do with the Platters. This is to do with me. Harbour Lights. I saw the harbour lights. They only told me we were parting. The same old harbour lights that once brought you to me. I watched the harbour lights. How could I help if tears were starting? Goodbye to tender nights beside the silvery sea. I long to hold you near and kiss you just once more. But you were on the ship and I was on the shore. Now I know lonely nights, for all the while my heart is whispering. Some other harbour lights will steal your love from me. I long to hold you near and kiss you just once more. But you were on the ship and I was on the shore. Now I know lonely nights, for all the while my heart is whispering. Some other harbour lights will steal your love from me. Right, if you're still watching, I expect that you're in need of treatment, so I'll be seeing you all on the sick parade, all of you who are present now. I've got the answer for you. A padded cell and an arse full of Largactyl. Tales from the Jails.